Alright, so this vid right here is by Rapaholics and Offset. He's going crazy. The downfall is insane. The spiral is out of control. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your boy Dway's on Blaze. Let's get into it.
Breaking news now. Cardi has a restraining order on Offset.
Offset broke.
If I catch Buddy and I can catch him, it's gonna be bad.
You
So I
gonna beat
think she
him up?
on some man, beach, strip, and need all types of shit.
He was
Strip!
panicking. He was
Why you gonna
asking
strip
random
him?
people for cash apps. He was
That's
broke.
weird.
I don't know what happened. Nobody was answering his phone call. He probably trying to run up, chasing. Must got us gambling at this game.
You see, that's why they have that booth in the casino where you can go make calls privately, so people won't be filming you there. You know what I'm saying? Offset, go find that booth where you call people when you're in stress.
And then he has $2 million owed in taxes, and that the IRS has been like trying to get his and that he's about to file for bankruptcy.
Oh,
And
no.
that he's been
All
trying to
that-
gamble to like get all this money back, but he keeps losing.
Sweet, not like
Don't
this.
think it's sweet. It ain't sweet, mama. On my mama, it ain't. My mama, you think you seen something her time? Why did?
No, we have.
Lobbies and gentlegrams, the offensive loss that Offset had on set has got Offset off that OFF. OnlyFans funds fueling his lights on from the top of the game to his savings of life gone, intuition offline, off switch the warning signs, strong slot hits, offloading his bankroll, it's gone quick. On set of the spiral, no
Oh, bro, this guy's hurting my head. I won't lie. There's too many bars happening, bro. I'm just trying to follow what's going on. The bars are too much, bro. I know your bars are top tier, but yo, it's hurting my brain.
safety net for Selena and crazy bets led Offset on a path of deranged demeanor. From unstrong checks to long bets, Offset hasn't written his wrongs yet, leading the net to check how big could this loss get. But before we get the rest of the damsel in distress, toss a like and subscribe if you haven't tossed yet.
This guy needs to drop a mixtape.
Rapaholics.
For a living.
Man, Lobbies and Gentlegrams, I thought 2025 would be the end of Atlanta rappers putting the L in ATL. I mean, we started last year off with that dud of a Lil Baby album, marking the long trend of uninspired project after project from a lot of Atlanta's heavy hitters, even including the current frontrunner, Gunna. Of course, that wasn't as bad as Gunna's.
Nah, but come on. Gunna's last album was fire. What are you guys talking about? Like, majority of that album was heat, bro. Stop it.
Lover turned hater, Young Thug. From the lackluster music to the whole anti-snitch movement to then coming out and maybe being a snitch himself.
What they do?
To then crapping on the entire industry in leaked jail phone calls. That whole Young Thug album rollout left the entirety of Atlanta divided, and then you had 21 Savage's album rollout, which was basically about doing mental gymnastics over why Young Thug didn't snitch but Gunna did, taking
still
all
can't get
attention
over-
away from the actual music
I still can't get over that Drake song with 21 Savage. Horrible song, man.
itself, which ended up being quite mediocre to say the least.
On that
Kendrick
album.
really love to rap. I don't really give a fuck about rapping like that.
Oh, whoa.
Cause Kendrick one of them rappers.
Explain
So
this
what
to
are
somebody
you?
in 300 years. He one of them rappers. Don't y'all all rap?
So what are you? A non-rapping rapper?
Nah, I'm one of them like diet rappers.
He know how to say like different shit, like right and shit.
What are you
Kendrick is a rapper because he know how to say different shit. He know how to write. What they do?
Savage capped 2025 off with what I thought would be the
what?
final of a long list of Snooze Fest albums. I thought we were going to be on a clean slate in 2026. Savage had the entirety of Atlanta saying F the streets. It seemed like they were on some sort of different movement here. But now we got
Nah, I know what just happened.
Offset, who is really making all these guys look like saints and like perfect, completely polished, the most unblemished superstars of all time. And no one's really talking about this insane situation, and this situation itself is making me very sad because it's very dark, all right? There's going to be some dark themes discussed in this video, some heavy stuff, but let's keep it light for now.
Oh, God.
Because this hurts me personally to see Offset go out like this, alright? Offset at one point in time, during the Migos' prime, he was probably my favorite Migos. I mean, because he had the perfect combination of both the melodies and the bars, right? Like, I don't think he was a better rapper than Takeoff, and I don't think he was better at creating hooks or creating melodies than Quavo was, but he kind of had the perfect balance of both, which gave him the upper hand on those posse cuts because he was able to be a lot more versatile. And especially, again, in their peak years like 2016, 2017, he usually had the standout verses because he was just about almost on par with Quavo for, again, incorporating unique melodies and vocal stretches and flows into the music.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot box.
Yes.
But then he could also pack his verses with flows that were very bar heavy, almost as well as Takeoff. And when they really hit their peak, their boiling point around when Bad and Bougie went number one,
Offset was the best of both, let's be honest, man.
A lot of people at that point in time were saying like Quavo was out of here, like he was the hook king. If you had Quavo on your hook, that was the stimulus package. Your song was an automatic hit. But it was really Offset, in my opinion, that was showing by far the most potential to go on and have the most or highest flourishing solo career if the Migos ever did split up, which they ended up doing. I always say, I don't know why him and Murda Beats never released this song Growth on streaming platforms. I think this had potential to be like a #1 hit back in 2017. This is one of the best Migos songs by far, and it's an Offset solo song. This is just Offset here.
My cash right, the good life. I don't want no hood life. I'm so right.
But anyways, this is a long rant to say that, I mean, when you look at it from this point in time, I don't think any Migos has fallen off harder than Offset. I mean, it's not even a debate or question, right? Rest in peace, Takeoff. He was gone way too soon. Sadly, definitely didn't live long enough to see his full potential because...
I can't say Offset has truly fallen off yet, but okay.
Because at the time of his passing, we were getting some of the best songs that he had ever released. And then with Quavo, he's kind of all over the place. I mean, he's going from like country music to just like generic trap, showing he hasn't evolved too much, but he's still been good for the occasional mild hit every couple of years. Like last year, he had that big moment with the Metro Boomin track.
Take me through there.
But I say Offset had the most potential to come out the best Migos in terms of a solo career, not just because I thought he was the best Migos during their commercial peak, but also due to circumstance. It didn't hurt that he was standing next to CARDI B for almost a decade. That brought a whole new set of eyeballs on him that maybe wouldn't have even heard of him if he wasn't married to her. He also had a bunch of disputes with the original record label that signed Migos, QC, and had a long battle to actually buy himself out of his record contract, which is going to play an important role in the story and how things turned ugly very shortly.
Acting like I'm the problem. I pay millions to get my rights back. You blackball me. I ain't said shit one time, homie. I ain't spoke to you in 2 years. Now I drop and you want your name on my credit?
Yes. But for a while, buying himself out of his record contract actually seemed like a blessing. I mean, he put out an album in 2023, I believe, called Set It Off, which did okay commercially. It was enough to get him on a small solo tour around America. And I mean, I'm documenting this because there are still so many unanswered questions as to how we even got to where we got to with Offset in the big 2026. The music at this point doesn't really have anything to do with it, but...
I blame Steak, bruh. Steak is the reason Drake and Offset and all these guys just don't care about music and all they care about is gambling now.
Me being an Offset fan in the past, and beyond that, I feel like when an artist begins to spiral, you know, emotionally or in their personal life, you can kind of see that reflected in the quality of the music. I mean, look at Kanye West's output over the last, 3 years.
I spent, all the money for the commercial... on these new teeth.
And I know some people liked his new album, Kiari. I didn't mind some of the songs, but I don't know. Ever since Kendrick came out with that bar on Whacked Out Murals, old flows trying to convince you that you're their favorite, nothing does it for me anymore, especially the music that's been coming out of Atlanta from the heavy hitters that were dominating the late 2010s, Offset being a prime example. But speaking of Kendrick Lamar, it did seem like Offset was taking some inspiration from Kendrick's album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by making his latest effort in 2025, Kiari, more of an album centered around themes of therapy, growth, dealing with his pain, his hurt, his loss.
Kiari, it's great to see you again. So tell me, how have things been? Kiari?
Shorty, your fatty, she
Offset?
belong me.
But then the album comes, and I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm biased, but like, to me, it was a whole lot of mid, stale flows, surface level subject matter that we've heard a million times over. I think the numbers speak for themselves on that project. I mean, the thing came and went. Jid had the best verse on that album. Nothing else really stood out except...
Yeah, but the Gunna song was fire too. The song with him and Gunna, that was a banger, no?
I guess the Gunna collaboration where Offset is kind of doing his best Gunna impersonation. I mean, if he was smart at this point, he'd probably just link up with Gunna and drop a collab tape since...
That's what me and my bro was saying. Why don't Offset and Gunna make a collab tape, bro? Why don't these guys just link up and make a mixtape once, bro? Like, I just feel like these guys are always cooking when they're together. Every song that they do, no, it's fire. It's heat to me, personally.
Other Atlanta artists seems to want anything to do with Gunna except for Offset. And keep in mind, there was a decent budget behind this album, right? Like, the marketing was there. He was on all those late night shows doing performances. He had all these bigger budget music videos. He had features. But the numbers just aren't there. That's going to play an important role, again, in this story. Because remember, he apparently had to buy himself out of his contract for several $1 million from QC to then go on and even put out these solo albums to begin with. So what does he do? Well, he joins NBA YoungBoy on his Make America Slime Again tour. You guys have probably seen clips of like 10-year-olds going crazy at this show. Now, Offset joining this tour, to me, raised a lot of question marks. Like, yeah, your career's not in the place that it was in 2017 or 2018, but like, you have been in the game a lot longer than an NBA YoungBoy. You have more #1 hit records than NBA YoungBoy. Are you nearly as close to as popular as YoungBoy right now? Absolutely not. But from an aesthetic standpoint, like strategically, if you're going out there as the opener to this tour, you're already placing the thought in people's minds that your stock or your price or your brand has went down heavily.
Look, don't believe what he's saying there, because that's cap. Don't ever, like, as an artist, people who are not artists love to say things like that. Bro, just because you're opening up for somebody else doesn't mean your stock or value is down. Don't be too proud to open up for somebody else, no matter where you are in your career. Because I'm telling you, the same people you see on the way up are the same you'll see on the way down. Be nice to people. That's what I'm saying. Don't think you're bad.
You can't even do your own tour at this point. Secondly, I didn't even know Offset was actually on this tour until I looked at the bill. And the reason for that is he's really being promoted on this tour like some opening act. Like, he didn't put in years of #1 hit after #1 hit long before NBA YoungBoy was even a...
Bro, it's one tour. It's one tour, bruv. Like, you don't have to be glazed every tour, bruv. Like, the real artists know. I'm not saying he is or isn't a real artist, but the real artists know, bruh. It's not about being glazed, headlighting every tour. It's about putting in the work, touching your fans, regardless if they put your name at the bottom in small print or at the top. How you deliver your art, how you carry yourself is always going to shine through, no matter where they place you on that flyer, bruv. How your fans feel about you will always shine through.
Household name, which is crazy. Like, it kind of shows you he's taking any bag he could get. YoungBoy and Offset, their fan bases don't really align, even though it might seem like they came up in the same era or make similar music. And that was no more obvious than when Offset, in the middle of that tour, dropped a surprise mixtape, thinking that the hype that maybe he generated from doing these 10,000 people stadiums would get him a little bit of buzz to start selling his own albums, since the Chiari album he put out earlier in 2025 didn't really sell that well. Well, this new surprise mixtape, even with the hype of being on that NBA YoungBoy tour, that mixtape sold so little, I don't even think it was able to crack the Billboard 200 chart. Offset had to like come out and defend the fact that it was a surprise mixtape, and that's why it sold so low.
Embarrassing.
Spicy.
What?
Now, I bring all this up to say, on the music side of things, things have not been looking great for Offset in general, right? And it seems like he's taking any opportunity he can to make a bag, and he's been working really hard to promote all this new music that he has, but...
It seems like all these artists are doing the same thing, taking, you know, whatever they can from whoever they can just to keep the lifestyle going, because music ain't really paying like it used to.
Just nothing is sticking. And when nothing's sticking, when the sales aren't coming in, you got to start opening on tour for a rapper who blew up years after you blew up. All signs point to one thing. Offset might have a money problem. So we gotta find some new ways to make money, and a bunch of you guys told me last year I put you onto some of the easiest side hustles, and I promise you, I have the best one yet for you right.
Alright guys, if you want to see the rest of the video, please go check it out there over at Rapaholics. Yeah man, it's your boy Dway's on Blaze. Like, comment, and subscribe. I actually got a dip, so I can't finish the video right now. I'll have to finish it alone, but y'all guys can go and watch it if you want to. Shout out to Rapaholics, and yeah man, for me all I have to say is Offset, just keep dropping, bruh, because hey bruh, it's looking late for you, my boy. If you now, Selena Powell and what seems to be exposing you and what, it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good. You really fumbled. You had Cardi B. Offset, you had it all. I won't even lie, bro. You had it all, dog. You were in one of the biggest groups of all time, next to the Beatles, bro. You had Cardi B, one of the biggest rap females of this generation, or the last generation, or whatever generation you want to call Cardi B. Even your solo career could have gone somewhere. Like, you had it all. So I don't understand how it's all going so wrong, Mr. Offset. But hey, let's see. Maybe it'll get better. We don't know. You're only one more loss away from hitting a multi, and you're back up again. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your boy Dway's on Blaze.